In the year 1987, the quiet setting of Bertha, Western Australia, becomes the backdrop for a chilling tale. The scene opens with the carefree energy of high school girls playing volleyball, a stark contrast to the predatory gaze of John White and Maggie Maloney watching from their car. The slow motion emphasizes the sinister intent as they patiently await a lone target. When young Vic White departs on her own, John and Maggie swiftly approach, feigning concern about the heat to lure her into their vehicle with false promises of a ride. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Vic's world. She shares a playful connection with her boyfriend, Jason, communicating through cleverly concealed messages within their everyday conversations. Vic, an aspiring writer for her school, often seeks Jason's help, highlighting her creative spirit amidst a less stable home life marked by her parents' divorce. The narrative then cuts back to John and Maggie's house, where the cheerful facade crumbles to reveal the horrifying reality of their actions. Wooden planks are hammered over the windows, sealing in the terrorized girl from their previous abduction. Maggie carries on with domestic tasks, her dog a silent witness, while John idly watches cartoons, a disturbing normalcy against the backdrop of their cruelty. Vic's school life offers a brief respite, though even there, the shadow of missing girls looms as her teacher discusses these cases. A well-meaning teacher tries to comfort Vic about her parents' separation, unknowingly foreshadowing a far greater tragedy. At home, a new puppy from her father brings Vic a moment of genuine joy, a fleeting light before darkness descends. The unsettling atmosphere intensifies as John is seen with a bloodied tissue, followed by him digging a grave in the woods, the implication clear. A missing person poster of the first girl serves as a grim reminder of their pattern. A visit with her estranged mother reveals the deep-seated tension between her parents, leaving Vic feeling isolated and upset. Her mother's attempts to connect fall flat, and Vic, seeking escape, lies about going to a party. A seemingly innocuous discussion about an article Vic wrote with Jason reveals her mother's critical nature and fuels Vic's teenage frustration, leading her to sneak out of the house. As Vic walks alone, vulnerable, she encounters the menacing taunts of passing boys. Her fear escalates until John and Maggie's car reappears. Desperate and mistaking their offer for genuine help, especially with the boys potentially returning, Vic makes the fatal decision to trust them. Back at their house, the trap is sprung. A drugged drink leaves Vic disoriented and helpless. Her desperate attempt to flee is thwarted, and she is brutally tied up as John and Maggie celebrate their capture, the loud music and boarded windows effectively silencing her screams. The scene shifts to John and Maggie's calculated attempt to blend into a quiet neighborhood, a chilling contrast to the horror within their walls. Vic's mother, now frantic, searches for her missing daughter, finding only an empty room. Inside a house, Maggie maintains a semblance of order, preparing food while John callously pores over Vic's belongings. The stark reality of Vic's terror is revealed as Maggie finds her soiled and deeply traumatized. The tension between John and Maggie simmers. John's anger flares at their dog's mess, a displacement of his own vile actions. Maggie, perhaps burdened by a flicker of conscience, offers Vic water and momentarily loosens a restraint. A child's toy in the house sparks Vic's realization that something is deeply wrong. Maggie deflects her questions, her unease palpable. A glimpse of the outside world through a bathroom window, an airplane soaring freely, underscores Vic's confinement. Meanwhile, John faces his own troubles, harassed by those he owes money to. Back inside, Maggie forces Vic to write a deceptive letter, a cruel manipulation to mislead her family. Vic cleverly incorporates the address into the letter, a desperate act of hope. The narrative plunges into the brutal reality of Vic's captivity as John subjects her to torture in the bathroom, while Maggie's drug-induced state leads her to join in the abuse. A brief moment of hope arises as Vic manages to open a window, but the barking dog betrays her attempted escape. Recaptured, her screams are once again silenced. A neighbor's concerned knock offers a fleeting chance, but Maggie's lies and aggressive dismissal shut it down. The neighbor's parting words, hinting at the couple's troubled past and lost children, strike a nerve, leading to a violent outburst from Maggie. Afterward, a fragile reconciliation between John and Maggie masks the underlying darkness. Maggie's fear of losing John to Vic surfaces, leading to a bizarre and unsettling exchange where John seems to foreshadow Vic's potential demise. Driven by paranoia and a desire to erase the evidence of John's betrayal, Maggie disposes of Vic's belongings, leaving a cryptic letter at her mother's house. At the police station, Vic's parents are met with apathy and dismissal, their pleas for help falling on deaf ears. Frustrated and desperate, Vic's mother returns home, piecing together the fragmented clues in Vic's room and the strange letter. The illogical phrasing and hidden address raise her suspicions, leading to further conflict with Vic's father, who is equally distraught but perhaps less perceptive. As the days turn into nights, the power dynamics within the captor's home shift. Maggie's encounter with a child at the supermarket triggers memories of her own lost children, a stark reminder of the life John has stolen from her. The revelation of John's sexual abuse of Vic shatters any remaining illusions. A strained phone call with her child highlights the deep chasm in their relationship. The coded letter finally reaches Jason, who, with growing horror, deciphers the address. Confronting John about his infidelity, Maggie finds him feigning sleep, a cowardly act that further fuels her rage. Seeking a moment of clarity outside, she is forced to confront the devastating truth. In a surprising turn, Maggie unties Vic, not out of compassion, but to engage in a twisted confrontation. Vic's taunts about John's lack of love and the replacement of her children with the dog strike a raw nerve. In a desperate attempt to reclaim John's affection, Maggie grotesquely uses Vic's makeup. Hidden and listening, Vic overhears Maggie's ultimatum to John: kill Vic to prove his love. John's refusal and Maggie's subsequent threat of self-harm reveal the toxic and manipulative nature of their relationship. John's callous indifference pushes Maggie further to the edge. His gaslighting and attempts to deflect her accusations create a suffocating atmosphere. The brutal reality of their cruelty is further underscored by John's violent killing of their dog. The sound of a nearby airplane, a symbol of freedom, only emphasizes Vic's utter helplessness. In a chilling conversation, John attempts to rationalize their actions, even suggesting replacing Vic, revealing the depth of their depravity. Maggie, seemingly trapped in this nightmare, agrees to John's sinister plan to show her who's in charge. Inside, Vic's terrified screams are briefly heard by a passing couple, a stark reminder of the world outside oblivious to her suffering. John's return with the dead dog and Maggie's unsettling happiness, even wearing Vic's clothes, paint a disturbing picture of their fractured psyches. While John prepares a grave, Maggie taunts the weakened Vic, revealing her knowledge of Vic's home life and cruelly mocking her for her rebellious actions. Just as hope seems lost, the pieces begin to fall into place for Vic's family. Jason decodes the crucial address. Vic, weakened and submissive, is forced to endure further humiliation. John's continued anger over the dog's mess and Maggie's cryptic pronouncements foreshadow further torment. The sound of the airplane becomes a recurring motif, a symbol of the nearby airport and a potential escape route. Maggie's emotional instability is evident in her grief over the dog. In a warped attempt at reconciliation, John tries to rationalize the dog's death and steer Maggie back to their obsession with their lost child. He coerces Vic into writing a final, fabricated letter. Meanwhile, Vic's mother's persistence finally gains some traction with the authorities, though the initial response remains frustratingly slow. Maggie, under John's influence, forces Vic to take a lethal dose of pills. As Vic's mother races towards a house, a desperate search fueled by a mother's instinct, the tension reaches a fever pitch. Vic, clinging to life, refuses to take the final pills, even goading Maggie to end her life with a knife. In a chaotic confrontation, John chokes Vic, but Maggie, perhaps in a final act of rebellion or a desperate attempt to save herself, stabs John repeatedly, killing him. Vic, seizing the opportunity, escapes through the bathroom window, her mother arriving just as she emerges. The film concludes with Vic's tearful reunion with her parents and boyfriend, the horrific ordeal finally over, but the scars undoubtedly remaining.